Mr. Wang. Today I would like to tell you a short talk on the strategy. Number one. First, the speaker hoped the people enjoy that evening talk by author Martin Howard. Next, she commented, if they would like to hear more, Mr. Howard would be interviewed on radio station BQR the following day evening at 7:30. After that, she said, if they would like a copy of Mr. Howard, this book they had some available for sale up front. Finally, she announced Mr. Howard would remain there for a short while to sign book and answer the questions. Number two. First, the speaker suggested getting down their winter scarf and scarves because the morning rain returned to snow by early afternoon. Next, he said they could expect 3 to 4 inches of snow before taper that evening. After that, he advised careful on driver home from work and be prepared for possible traffic delays. Finally, he announced the day after would be cold and windy and the road would likely be very icy. On number 3. First, the speaker thanked the people for calling Sunrise Telephone. Next, he suggested listening carefully to the calling menu because it may have changed since the last time and they had called. Finally, she suggested pressing 1 for telephone repair, pressing 2 for billing inquiry, pressing 3 to order new telephone line, staying on the line to speak with the customer service representative, pressing pound key and to return to the main menu at any time. Number 4. First, the speaker thanked the people for calling Joe's bookstore. Next, he commented, they have the book the people want to read, was sold the low price. They would enjoy, and he said it was easy to find it. After that, he said they located on the plot of the downtown shopping district at 565 Henry Street, near the corner Elm Avenue and just across Central Park, just 1 block from the Henry Street subway station. Finally, he suggested coming on down because they were waiting for them. Number 5. First, the speaker said hello to Charles. Then she said she just called to say that her plane arrived at the airport for tomorrow for the following day. Next, she commented she probably just wanted to go straight to the hotel and she wanted to take a taxi and meet him there at 7 because that gave her a chance at the restaurant bit. After that, she said she wanted to make a reservation for 2 at the Colonial restaurants because she heard it very nice place. Finally, she commented she couldn't wait to see him. Number 6. First, the speaker announced tour bus accident on June 10 early that day caused major traffic delays during the morning rush hour. Next, he said it also resulted of disruption to the normal bus schedule at Central Station. After that, he commented the bus hit 3 it go on around the curve and it would fit a vocational return from the beach. Finally, he announced several passengers were hospitalized with minor injury. 7. First, the speaker welcomed the people and she announced they had room for the people on the second floor for 2 nights they requested as she gave them the key. Next, she commented, after that they unloaded their car. They could park it in the lot on the side of the building and she said she could get someone to help them take the luggage upstairs if they would like. Finally, she wanted to know they would pay in by check or with a credit card. Number 8. First, the speaker commented saving money was easier than they thought. Next, he said the first step was to stop borrowing money because every time they used their credit card, they were borrowing money at a very high interest rate. After that, he said the more money they borrow, the more interest they would have to pay, so they would have less money to save. Finally, he suggested throwing away their credit cards that day and they would be on the road to saving money. Number 9. First, the speaker suggested seeing to the meter and he said the fare was $8. Then he commented there was $1 surcharge because he picked them up at the airport. So he said they owed him $9 total. Finally, he wanted to know if they could buy with small bills, and he said he was running out of change. Number 10. First, the speaker thanked the people for calling the city bus hotline. Then he said if they were calling for information on schedules and routes, and he advised but be ready to explain their point of departure, their destination, and the day and time they plan to travel. After that, he suggested stay on the line and an operator would assist them shortly. Finally, he suggested telling the operator now if they would like to receive a free map of city possibilities, so one would be sent to them that day. Number 11. First, the speaker thanked the people for calling the Starlight Cinemas Sing for Life. Next, she announced that day they were showing the thrilling action drama Lost in the Storm, and she said they have shown that day at 1, 3, 5 and 7:30 p.m. After that, she commented on shows before 5 o'clock were half price and cold drinks, hot popcorn and other snacks were available for sale in the lobby. Finally, she suggested Leon bring outside food into the theater. Number 10. First, the speaker announced the president had met the morning with his advice following a speech he made to representatives of the National Teachers Union. Next, he said the president gave his weekly press conference, during which he outlined his plan for stimulating the economy. Finally, he commented the president left that evening for a tour of the West Coast, where he could view area damaged by the recent storms. Number 13. First, the speaker was sorry about the number the people had called was no longer in service. Next, he suggested hanging up and checking their telephone directory to make sure they have dialed the correct number. After that, he suggested calling the operator if they needed further assistance. Finally, he suggested hanging up and calling the phone number Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 if they would like to order a current telephone directory. Number 14. First, the speaker announced the museum would close in 15 minutes. Next, she suggested retrieving on pets and costs from the check room. Then, after that, she said they would reopen the day after morning at 9 a.m. and she reminded Ian forgot to pick up a special exhibit scheduled on their way out. Finally, she hoped they enjoyed their visit. that day and that they would return to see their exhibits again soon. Number 15. First, the speaker announced they still have some tickets available for Saturday afternoon the show again. Then he said transportation on the company bus would be provided for those who wishes. After that, he suggested sending an email message to Mr. Kim in the Human Resources office before 5 o'clock if they were interested in attending the Year 5. Finally, he said, tell Mr. Kim now how many tickets they would need and whether or not they plan to ride the company bus, because the tickets and bus ride were free. Number 16. First, the speaker announced ordering by phone was easy for first-time customers and it would save them money. Next, he said, after they have chosen the items they wish to purchase from their catalog, dial their toll-free number and press 1 for their special first-time customer line. After that, he commented, a customer service representative would guide them through the ordering process. Finally, he reminded, didn't forget to have their credit card handy when they call. Number 17. First, the speaker thanked the people for attending that day's workshop. Then he said they were honored to have with them Professor Martino Todt, chairperson of the Political Science Department at National University. Finally, he said Professor Todt expert in electoral politics and author of several books on the subject, would lead them in a discussion of the current political climate and the implication for the upcoming elections. Number 18. First, the speaker thanked all the people for coming out tonight. Next, he commented they have a wonderful program for them. Dr. James' lecture on Italian art, which would be accompanied by a fascinating slideshow, would be preceded by a brief musical performance. After that, he said students from the City School of Music would perform a piece by Vivaldi. Finally, he commented, following the lecture, there would be a questions and answer sessions. Number 19. First, the speaker announced traffic on the Harbour Bridge was backed up that morning due to an accident. Next, he said icy road conditions resulting from last night's snowstorm caused a bus to hit a truck. After that, she commented the icy roads have affected traffic all over the area and cars were moving slowly on most major routes into the city and buses were running behind schedule. Finally, he advised allow themselves extra time for getting to work that morning and be careful out there. Number 20. First, the speaker announced customers were asking not to park in the lot next door because that lot belongs to those restaurants. Next, he said their car would be towed if they park it there. After that, he commented, they could park in the lot behind the ABC supermarket if street parking was not available. Finally, he suggested leaving the area by the front door free for delivery vehicles and he thanked for that.